Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Vestaria Saga. Last time, we did not deserve to win. This time, we're gonna see some plot. I guess... Wait, fuck, all of his staffs are good. Well, wait a minute. Send that to the stockpile. Zuarius has been vanquished. Go after the other Margulites. Do not let them escape. No, sire. Helping Lady Nina is more important. If we don't take action quickly, it's the title theme. Aden's Fair will awaken again. Is that her? The Earth Maiden? No, well, she's pretty fucking, stoned. Yes, she's been turned to stone. This magic is beyond my power, but Lana Near may be able to heal her. Do you need help taking her to Tenemenos? No, we've troubled you enough. Lord Zadrian needs you more right now. Very well, then we shall depart for Regina without further delay. Good luck, Captain Forza. Car joke here about Forza. I don't know why I haven't made it before. And we're just going to go over here. Journey's End. Oh, man. Well, let's just do it. Chapter 20. Journey's End. As Silton's troops fought their way through the labyrinth of Janeth, Zaid was waging battle of his own outside the Meledian capital of Regina. The city was environed by sturdy curtain walls capable of staving off armies far more impressive than Zaid's. However, Ajax was true to his word. After making peace with Melida, the legate visited the capital and convinced many of his troops to surrender. In just a few short days, the Meledian army was able to retake over half the city, including the palace. Needless to say, Thernius did not stand his ground. The moments the tide turned, he fled the palace and took shelter in a fortress known as Angal Bastion. Angal Bastion was the most secure citadel in all the city, a 5-tiered megastructure fashioned from heavy stone. It was designed to be a last refuge in times of crisis. However, once surrounded, the bastion could just as easily be called a tomb. Many kings who entered it never emerged again. Some took their own lives, others were murdered by members of their own court. So bloody was the bastion's history that it acquired a second name, the Tower of Anguish. After arraying his troops outside the walls, Zaid gave the enemy one final chance to lay down his arms. They had until first light the next day. Gripped by fear, many of the enemy soldiers did try to surrender. However, Thernius was determined not to die on Imperial chopping block. He had already replenished his army with Spherin, Waguri, and Norden mercenaries bought with Melida's own coin. So he simply ordered the deaths of any Solvians who refused to fight. By God, are we dealing with the biggest bastard? When all was said and done, Thernius still had an army of 10,000 bodyguards, mercenaries, and Margulites prepared to battle to the death. However, all that was briefly forgotten when, back at the palace, Zaid finally received the good news about his brother. Zek is alive? You are certain of it? Yes, Lord Zadrian. We found him in a holding cell in the Ledvia prison camp. He and Master Garland are on their way south with their army as we speak. I knew he was alive! I knew it! It's joyous news, my lord, but I'm worried about Lady Nina. Silton will rescue her. I have no doubt of it at all. I will go help him as soon as the battle here is won. Trust me, Zaid. You don't want to fuck with that. Stay here. Whatever is here could not be as bad as the fuck Silton's had to deal with. By the way, where is Captain Aslan? You said that you left the mountains together. Yes, but on the way we were attacked by Norden mercenaries. Captain Aslan stayed behind to hold them off and bade me deliver this message in her steed. I see. Well, I know it was a long journey, Maya. I'll prepare a room for you so you can rest. Thank you, Lord Zadrian. Wow, Zaid, can you believe it? He's alive! I'll feel better once I've actually seen him, but it's a weight off my mind and I don't have to wonder anymore. I'm so happy for you. You know Zek is like a brother to me, but, I mean, don't be wroth, but you do realize this creates a problem for you? Is that the Theo version of being delicate? What problem? I spent a lot of time at the Temenos library sating my appetite for Vestarian history. If there's one thing our ancestors can teach us, it's that power unnatures everything. You can think you know a person to be good, but you don't truly know them at all until power or opportunity comes between you. When the prize is a crown, history has proven how quick fraternal bonds are to break. Stop right there, Theo. Are you implying Zek and I are going to turn on each other? How dare you? It's not that simple, Zaid. Give me one moment to get a drink. I should have done this beforehand, but I am bad at this. It's not that simple, Zaid. This is going to make you angry, but please, hear me out. I know how much you and Zek love each other. That will never ever change. But the people around you? That's another story. You and Zek are Melida's two greatest living heroes. People are going to flock to one or the other. You may not realize it, but your status and renown are beginning to rival your brother's. I can tell you for a fact that the troops out there would choose you over him in a heartbeat. And what history has proven is that they will want anyone who could potentially be considered your rival out of the picture. I hadn't considered that. I think you're lucky to have such an incredible brother. Zek has always been your exemplar, your vision of perfection. Still, everything between you will change if you try to stand as tall as he does. Do you understand what I'm saying? Melida needs to rally behind one hero, not two. You're right, Theo. I have to either vanish back into my brother's shadow or risk eclipsing him. I'm sorry I shouted you for pointing out something that should have been obvious. It's alright, I knew you would understand. We need only one sun in the sky. Any more than that, and the world will burn. Very poetic of you. You don't have to worry about your brother. He'll make a wise ruler one day. He and the princess will guide and watch over each other. I know. Zaid, why don't we go on a journey together after all this is over? Just the two of us. There's no place for me in the Temenos anymore, but I've always wanted to go to the mainland. We could become mercenaries. Zaid the sellsword and Theo the spellslinger. Every day will be an adventure. You are not going anywhere. You're the rightful Duke of Thrall. You have a duty to your princess and people. I suppose I'll have to explore the mainland without you. What? You would never. Oh, Theo, I meant to ask. How's your brother? Huh? You know, Emil? You never introduced him to me. Oh, shit! Emmy, I forgot all about her. I thought we were talking about Emil. I told her to stay in Thrall where it's safe, but she must have followed me because I saw her down in the streets yesterday. She had her hair tied back again, which can only mean she's trying to sneak into some place she's not supposed to. Well, if it's Emmy you're worried about, I can keep an eye out for her. She better not have wandered anywhere near the Bastion, though. I've heard Thernius has taken hostages. Don't say that, Zaid. Please don't say that. Zaid, I was wondering where you were. I heard the news about Zek. It's wonderful, isn't it? Yes, I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. There's been so much to do. What's wrong, Zaid? I thought you'd be happier. Of course I'm happy. I'm so excited I'm shaking. But at the same time, how do I describe it? It's like a piece of me fell loose, and I don't quite know how to fit it back in. Zaid, it'll be alright. Will it? Of course it will. Tomorrow, the war ends. Once I've reported to my brother and told him everything he needs to know, I intend to leave Melida. What? How can you come out of the blue and say something like that? Imagine how your brother will feel. You've been apart so long. You have so much catching up to do. I just want my freedom back. Zek can take all these burdens off of my shoulder. I don't know if that phrasing's going to work here. He can be your kingdom's savior. He can be your army's commander. He can be the Duke of Verdessa. And I can go back to the hinterland knight I've always been. I can start repaying my own debts. I need to make certain Nina is safe. And Sestra Elisa is still missing. I forgot all about Elisa, even though last chapter reminded me of her. Wow, that's pretty bad of me. Lady Murda has asked for my help in Lestia, so there's that. And I promised Silton I would attend his coronation. I'm sure his and Holin's wedding will be a grand affair. Most importantly, I thought he was engaged to Lydia. This is what I get for playing this game in multiple bite-sized chunks over a long period of time. I tend to forget things. Most importantly, though, I need to put a stop to the Margulites, since they seem to be at the root of everything. Always Satan. Zek can look after you, but who will look after the other Circlet Maidens? Stop acting so strange. What? You never talk this much about yourself. Not to me, anyway. It's scaring me because, as happy as I am that you're treating me as a friend, this is your way of saying goodbye, isn't it? I'm sorry, Highness. Decorum required that I keep a certain distance from you. I should have comforted you more and lorded myself over you less. I should have told you each time I felt what a kind and strong and radiant person you are. So I'll tell you now, you are a remarkable woman. Please stop, you're gonna make me cry. Alright, let's think of something more pleasant to talk about then. I know, why don't you tell me more about the Circlet Maidens? I need to learn as much as I can if I'm going to go to war with the Margulites. That's your idea of pleasant conversation? Is it not? Never mind. I suppose this is a chance to educate you. Get ready to have that decorum of yours dashed to pieces. I trust you know what this is. A thigh? Yeah, what are you doing? Cover that. Holy fuck, my face gets red. You are allowed to look at it, Zaid. But, I know it's embarrassing, but I can't talk to you through how the circlet works if I'm hiding it from you. I certainly can't take it off, so you're just going to have to look. Right. Sorry. As you can see, sorry, just this entire conversation, I love it. Because you have to imagine, this entire conversation, she's just has her leg up, you know, showing it off. Bright leg. Just the whole time, I'm thinking about that. As you can see, the circlet is made of fur mail and contains a bright black gem. The circlet is more correctly referred to as the Stellacris, and the gem, which controls one of the nether drakes, is known as the Star Shard. Okay, Kaga, there's being similar to your past ideas, and then there's literally star shards. It does have a sea of sparkles in it, just like a clear night sky. So that's why they call you the Star Maiden. Yes, the Earth Maiden, Lady Nina, has a similar shard that inhibits the nether drake in the same way. She wears it around her left thigh just like me, in a circlet called the Terracris. I think I sort of understand. How does the legend go again? From the nether reach he summoned dragons 3, and across ashes and liches Margul's army marched. So you and Nina use your circlet to restrain one of Margul's 3 dragons. It's a little more complicated than that. I'll try to explain, but don't interrupt me because I'm just repeating what I learned from the Lana by rote. I won't, I promise. Alright, the story goes like this. Roughly 750 years ago, the people of Seldronian Empire flourished on the mainland. Right, the first... Did you just interrupt her the first fucking line, Zaid? I said don't interrupt. It's hard enough to remember all of this as is. Oh, sorry. Where was I? Oh, yes. At the time... I'm really sorry, but when something's funny to me, my brain just plays it over and over again on loop. So her showing him her thigh and him having that reaction is just playing over and over again in my head, and I can't help chuckling at it, alright? It got me. At the time, few people on the mainland knew these isles even existed. Only the occasional castaway ever set foot on our shores. But these castaways all returned home with the same story. The isles were ruled by the Shadow King, Mordekaiser. Sorry, I don't know if League of Legends jokes are okay here. A devil who enslaved and cannibalized his subjects. The Emperor at the time was young and brave, so he agreed to cross the sea and set the isles free. However, his army was annihilated by the Shadow King's forces, and the Emperor himself slain. Nor was that the end of it. In revenge, the Shadow King invaded the mainland with a vast army and his 3 nether drakes. And then, what comes next? Oh yes! They swept over the continent and destroyed everything in sight. In a blink, the Seldronian Empire was no more. Margul, as the Shadow King was named, seized control of the known world and brought an age of misery and terror to all its people. This third age of Selrond, the Dark Age, lasted for a century and a score. And I believe a score is 50 years, so 150. Are you still listening, Zaid? Your eyes are glossing over. Huh? I'm listening, I swear. Third Age, misery, darkness. I'm all caught up. Anyway, we're about to get to the exciting part. 17 heroes came forward and vanquished Margul, putting an end to his dark reign. Okay, so it's 8 heroes in Ilbian lore. It's 5 heroes in Morva, so 6. In Sacred Stones lore. It's 3 heroes in Tellius lore. Lahran, Altena, and Dragon King. Fuck, I don't remember how many heroes. I think it's just Henri. Not Henri, that's not his name. That's Marth's dad. There's just the one hero in Arcanea lore, I think. So I think 17 is a record. Oh, fuck, how many Crusaders were there in, Jugdrawl? Fuck. It wasn't more than 17, I don't think. I think it was 8 again, like Eelb. I could be wrong about that, but I think 17's a record for ancient heroes. There are wonderful tales about each of the 17, full of love and tragedy and adventure. My sisters and I used to sit riveted as Lana recounted them. Would you like to hear one? My absolute favorites are the saga of the sibling dragon riders. Oh, and there's the story of the archer and the priestess. I would love to hear them all, Highness, but it's getting late. What can you tell me about how the Shadow King was defeated? Oh, Well, the 17 heroes found a way to break the 3 orbs that were the source of Margle's power. No one really knows how. And that was the end of it? Not quite. One of the 17 was an old, wandering sage by the name of Vesta. He told the others... Actually, I can tell you exactly what he said. It's one of the scriptures we memorize. Give me a moment, I want to get this right. Ahem. And so Vesta said, Margle is an fuck. Margle is an Udagal outcast, the same as we. In his lust for power, he took in hand that which no Udagal should, and so a devil became. We must destroy these 3 orbs that are the source of Margle's power, and yet such a feat is presently beyond our means. However, there is still hope. Margle has shattered the barrier to those ancient and forbidden isles. Perhaps we can go there and find a solution to our plight. I will travel there with several of my Udagal brethren to set the isles free and bind the orb's power once again. So, in other words, Margle was never truly defeated. His orbs were broken and bound, but there was no way to destroy them completely. That's why Vesta and the 5 heroes built Lana Sanctum and the Temenos, as a way to keep the orb's power in check. Correct. The orbs are red, blue, and black, each the size of a small child's fist. The red one I've already told you about. It's the Orb of Enthrallment and gives the wielder power to control people at will. The black one is the Orb of Ruination, which granted Margle the power to awaken and command the Nether Drakes. On the surface of the orb is the picture of the night sky. It was broken into 3 pictures of the moon, the stars, and the Earth's horizon. I see. And those are the shards that are kept by the Star Maiden, the Earth Maiden, and... I suppose that must be a Moon Maiden. Who is it? Princess Marion of Lestia, who wears the Lunacris, but I haven't seen her in 2 years. The Lana chooses each maiden herself? Strictly speaking, it's the god Vesta who does the selecting. Only unmarried female descendants of an Udagal can be chosen. That generally means they are between 9 and 18 years of age and come from noble Vestarian houses. Upon assaintment, each maiden is fitted with her circlet, after which the shard is bound and cleansed. So, if I've got this right, so long as the 3 of you are guarding the shards of the Orb of Ruination are safe, the Nether Drakes cannot awaken? Again, it's a little more complicated than that. Each shard controls a separate dragon. If any of the maidens is subdued, one of the Nether Drakes will revive. However, so long as the other 2 are safe, the orb as a whole remains bound. The Nether Drake cannot wield its full power. With holy weapons, it can be vanquished. Would really suck if those holy weapons were obtained through a bullshit method, but you know. What do you mean, if one of you is subdued? You mean killed? No. The circlets are designed with various failsafes to prevent them from falling into the wrong hands. If a maiden dies, or if someone severs her leg in an attempt to remove it, for example, the circlet returns to the sanctum of its own volition. There is one dangerous exception, however. A maiden can be subdued, suspended in a state of half-death. In that case, the circlet's power fails and the Nether Drake can awaken. There are those in Vestaria with magic capable of turning people to stone or metal. Lana Near says they are our greatest threat. Fortunately, Vesta protects us maidens from such spells most of the time. They only work on us when our hearts are most vulnerable. I will never allow such a thing to happen to me. Whenever someone says something like that, I believe you. You are a strong person, but even the strong have weaknesses. Nina's was her love of her parents. Whoever abducted her took advantage of that. Well, let's see. I suppose my weakness is that I can't stand being lonely. So you better not leave me, or I might just turn to stone. What? Gotcha. Well, that was not a happy face with that, haha. Well, we've talked away half the night, haven't we? Yes, you've taught me a lot. But Emma over there is starting to give me the eye, so I think it's best I take my leave now. I shall never forget tonight. The sky is so beautiful. Yes. Whatever happens from tomorrow on will always be under the same stars. Good night, Zaid. Good night, Aethal. That was nice. And then came First Light, and Thernius is probably still a bastard. Yep. Alright. Well, here it is. What? Okay, I just hit full okay. Okay. Alright, there's a lot to digest here. Alright. Okay. So we have this little force at the start. Caesar can very easily open that gate. Oh, that guy looks cool. I'm gonna have to kill him, but he looks cool. Oh, what the fuck is that? Does extra harm to cavalry. Well, that's not cool. Oh, a collapsed bridge. We have to go around. What the fuck is... There's a lot of questions I definitely have here. Oh, there's a thief fighter with Sane. An open church, an open house. 2 more open houses. A great tree. Can I maybe knock those great trees down? Okay. Well, regardless, we have a bit of close quarters fighting right out the gate, but nothing too dangerous. But once we get inside, things are way too spread out. There's going to be reinforcements around. And there's also door keys in case Caesar's dead. How are we going to pull that lever? Or that lever? Or wait. Alright, well. Okay, so hang on, wait a minute. We can get in through right there. And right there can be gotten in from here, which can be obtained from right there if we just climb with... Okay, so my infantry can get in pretty easily, it looks like. But, I don't know for how much longer. Alright. There's so... Oh my god. Wait, what do I need all those treasure chests for? This is the last chapter of the game. What do I need all that for? What am I looking at? What? I have so many questions. Actually, where the fuck is third? Okay, let me guess. That's a meal. Yep. Yeah. What the fuck are you? Oh, Volkswald! You know, old Volkswald. Fucking Shimmer. I hate... Goddamn, okay. Where's Thernius? Saga, High Priestess. Alright. That's... Okay, great. Where's Thernius himself? He's just not here. Oh, he flew the coop. How? He couldn't have gotten out. Or is that Thernius right there? Oh, no. Oh, there he is. What the fuck is that skill? Oh, it's right, imbecile. You know what? Next episode, we'll start it. We'll start... I probably need to figure out... Well, the Axe of Enmity, I think, is going to be the thing I need to fix above all else, right? What's Father Sculpture do? Well, he has that. Haha, his luck is 420. That is exactly where I should end this chapter, or episode. Have a wonderful day. A lot of plot, a lot of good plot. Oh, he capped magic, I didn't even realize. I should really pay attention to a lot of things I don't pay attention to.